it's me. Welcome, welcome. Oh, my hair looks untidy. I'm going to be having it cut next week, is what I'm trying to say. And failing abysmally. Have we gone live? Yes, we have. Hurrah! Welcome to a very windy South Oxfordshire. We have a weather warning for high winds until 6 o'clock this evening. So the garden is currently, my dear husband, bless him, has been doing lots of work in the garden. He's sown lots of seeds and he's already started planting things out. And he always puts a little plastic, it's an old water bottle that he cuts down. We're reusing these things. So he puts a little collar round to keep the slugs off. Currently, they are not over the seedlings. They are blown all over the garden. I can see them blowing about. But it's sunny, so we can't complain. So, yes. I'm going to get the, official bit done. So, my name is Liz Yuille. I am a Stamping Up demonstrator based in the UK, working across the UK, France, Germany, Austria, and the Netherlands. You may also know me as Old Stables Crafts, because that is the name I use for my business. Hello, Cindy, all the way from Australia. Hurrah! So, if you're in Europe, UK, France, Germany, Austria, or the Netherlands, and you would like any Stamping Up products, I would be thrilled if you would shop with me. Also, if you want to take advantage of the amazing joining offer, again, I would love to welcome you to the team. We're a really great bunch, very eclectic, but really supportive. And I have to say, I've had two beautiful cards today from two of my team members. I'll talk to you about why in a moment. So, who else is here? Nemini's here! Yay! Nemini's here. So Nemini is one of my team. And all the way from a wet and windy Norfolk. We've got the wind, Nemini, but we haven't got the rain at the moment. I don't know that we've forecast rain here. We had a very heavy rain last night, and at some point last night we had a power cut because when we bought the house 7 years ago, it came with electric gates, and if there's a power cut, you can't there's a remote control that you can push to get the gates open, and it only works if there hasn't been a power cut. So I had to go and actually push the big button. So I know there must have been a power cut. But hello, Jess. So, right, we're going Eastery. May not actually do Easter sentiments, but I'm going to be using the Easter Friends stamp set. I've done quite a bit with the bunny, but I haven't done very much with the chick or the duckling. So I'm going to be doing some stuff with the chick and the duckling today. And I'm being reasonably good with the number of products I'm using. I haven't got lots. Got a few, but I haven't got lots. So fingers crossed. For me, I haven't got lots. Hello, Gwen from North Carolina. So I'm going to flip the camera down, and if I can find my mouse. Hello, Sherry from Oregon. It's sunny and warm there. Well, yeah, because we've got high winds, not so much warm. Right, where are we? There we go. So I've got a nice empty desk at the moment. Clean. So, let's see. So, yes, Easter Friends. I have done some prep, because I do occasionally. Hello, Mary Lisa. You caught me live again. Yes. Hurrah. So I've done 2 tailor-made tags. I have also done crumb cake, so saffron, and white, and I'm just wondering if I'm under my head, and white tops. Can't decide what I'm going to be doing, which ones I'm going to be using yet. So I've done all of those. I have got my linen thread out after last week where I couldn't find anything in my ribbon shelf. I still can't find anything on my ribbon shelf, but I have found my linen thread. Hello, Claire. And while I remember, if you're enjoying what you see, do give me a like. That would be lovely. And if you want to share, then that is also nice too. And I've got bread and butter pudding tea from T2 in my flask today. And it's still quite hot. Right, I'm also going to be using the layering the layering masks, but I'm actually using this. So it's the Butterflies and Flowers layering decorative masks, but it's just the flower background that I'm going to be using. I've got So Saffron blends, Crumb Cake blends, Crumb Cake ink, so saffron ink, and I may use the gingham embossing folder. Haven't decided about that. I've also got So Saffron and Crumb Cake card, and of course basic white for the background. So the first thing I'm going to do is pop that down. I'm going to grab some post-it notes. Well, actually they're not, they're snowpack notes, just to act as adhesive. And yes, I have torn one in half, because why shouldn't I? So I'm just going to pop those there and there, and grab my So Saffron brush first, well, my yellow brush first, and my So Saffron ink, and swirl that around a bit. And I'm just going to do a little bit there just to make sure that things are going okay. Haven't picked up a bit of something nasty. And I'm just going to add some ink to the middle of the card. And I can't actually see the card, so Barbara's here from Germany, yay! The reason she's saying long time no see is because we had a team meeting last night. So she was on that. Hello, Brenton. Haven't seen you for a while. Hope you're doing well. So yes, I can't really see where I'm going, but I'm going to be popping a tag over the top. So I want a reasonably large area. I just don't want to go mad, and I don't want too much solid all the way out. So I'm starting in the middle and working out, because the middle's going to be covered quite substantially by the tag. And I'm going to do the chick first, just saying. So yes, I've had 2 cards today from one of my silvers and one of her downline, and I've just moved the mask, so I'm going to stop there. That's actually just what I want, so this is what we've got. I don't think I am going to use the embossing folder, not on this one anyway. I might use it on the next one. I had a bit of a wobble last month. Those of you who follow me regularly know it was my father's, in inverted commas, memorial service, his celebration service, and I had a bit of a wobble, and the service coincided with our last team meeting, so I had to cancel the team meeting. And then the morning of the service, my brother sent me a message to say he'd come down with COVID overnight, so I wasn't going to be able to make the service. And I have to say, it kind of wasn't then it hit me, it was during the afternoon, and someone just said something to me that they really hadn't thought about what impact it was going to have on me. And they said it in a helpful, well, they were trying to be helpful, they just failed. And yeah, I just hit rock bottom. So I told my team I'd hit rock bottom, and I'm sorry I wasn't rescheduling the meeting, and I've had some really lovely messages. I was telling our demonstrator development manager earlier this morning, because I had a call with her, and I was telling her this morning about these messages that I'd had. I ended up in tears because it was just lovely. So Crumb Cake and the Little Chick, and I've got, as I say, So Saffron and blends. But yeah, they were just amazing. And then this afternoon, I've just taken delivery of 2 cards from one of my silvers and her downline, saying how they're thinking of me and all nice stuff. So yeah, it was just wonderful. And if I talk about it for much longer, I'm going to be in tears again. Hello, Judith. Oh no, not from COVID isolation. I hope you're not too bad. Oh, hello, Nora. So, right, so we've got our little chick. I'm going to only use a little bit of the crumb cake, just as, well, obviously his legs. I say obviously, there's no obviously about it, but I'm going to use it on his legs. Her legs, his legs. So yes, it was lovely to get some unexpected cards. Oh, Barbara, while I think about it, have you seen the email from Michelle? You only have to say yes or no. Hello, Bex. So, crumb cake. This is the light crumb cake. I'm just going to add some shading. I do like doing classic ink with the blends because they do work. And it means you don't have to have that harsh black outline. So just a little bit of shading, and do his beak as well. And I apologise to those of you who are not on my team, who I'm now using this as an opportunity to check in with my team. I had no idea. Yeah, these things happen. Been crafting for this month's Gentleman's Crafters Design Team blog hop. I know you do that, and it's amazing. I love the Gentleman Crafters blog hop because, you know, men craft too. So this is the light So Saffron, and I'm kind of pushing it into that crumb cake as well, just to soften that crumb cake a bit. I will, once I've done this bit, I will bring it up so that you can see where we are. Because I know it's quite a long way away. So just come round that, all that shading bit, so I can blend that crumb cake a bit. So this is where we are so far. I'm hoping that that's in camera. There's about a 6 or 7 second delay today, which is always quite interesting because I see what I'm doing now. Well, actually, oh, it was in camera. Good. Oh, no, it wasn't. It was out of camera. Sorry. I see on the screen what you see, but obviously I'm doing it at some other time. Hello, Deborah from Michigan. Have you joined us before, Deborah? I don't recognise your name. I may just have missed it before. So this is the dark So Saffron. And I will be going over with the light again, just to blend that in. And it may seem odd that I'm doing dark So Saffron in the middle of the image and light So Saffron at the edge, but because I've used the crumb cake, there is a kind of a shading. And feathers have light areas and dark areas. Hello, Helena from North Carolina. Another North Carolinian. Sure someone else was here from North Carolina. Yes, Gwen is here from North Carolina. Right, so let me bring it up, and I'm going to check what you can see this time, rather than just holding it there hoping. Yes, so you can see. I don't know if you can see the detail, but possibly. Possibly. Right, so back in with the light So Saffron. And then I am going to apologise in advance for those of you who hate fussy cutting, because I'm going to be fussy cutting, because there are no dies for the Easter friends, and I want just the chick. The only thing I don't like about that at the moment are the legs, because they're a bit dark. I might go over that with the light crumb cake. I don't want to overload the paper, which you can if you put too much alcohol down on the same piece of paper. Oh, that's better. Yeah, that's better. Definitely better. Right, fussy cutting time. As I say, apologies. Hello, Jan from a Windy Wheatley. Absolutely. It's ridiculous. Jan is, again, one of my team. And she lives about 20 minutes from me, but the other side of a hill. So I say hill. Oxfordshire doesn't really do hills. I mean, there are the clumps, which is where I live, near the clumps, at least. But other than that, Oxfordshire doesn't really do hills. But Jan lives the other side of a sort of hillock. Hello, Janice. Happy to catch you live. I'm sorry to hear that you... Yeah, life can just be crappy sometimes. It's fine. I'm coming back up for air. I think sometimes you just have to acknowledge publicly that there's a problem, and that helps the problem. Certainly for me, actually admitting that I've got a problem publicly tends to make things better or less bad, depending on how you look at it. So I am definitely coming up for air. Hey, I've got my pre-order, so why wouldn't I be coming up for air? There are some lovely things coming, just saying. I mean, there are still some lovely things to buy from both the retiring catalogue and, of course, the mini, which is what this is from. So I'm just doing a bit of this to see if I can get something that looks a little bit more feathery as opposed to smooth. I love the detail of this stamp. It's amazing. I'm doing a training program with one of the top American demos, and one of the girls on that group, I told them what I was going through, and one of the girls on that group, who I hadn't realised is a psychiatrist, or anyway, something along those lines, and bless her, she gave me some advice which I took, which was mostly about don't do anything other than go out and get some sunshine. Unfortunately, it was sunny at the time. And then, bless her, 3 days later, she sent me a private message just checking in that I was all right, which I thought was, talk about above and beyond. But yeah, it was just... It's moments like this that you realise that being a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator is just awesome. I'm just saying, it's awesome. Just put in your pre-order today and looking forward to receiving it. So, Julie, whereabouts in the world are you? Because I know some things weren't available in some parts of the world because of the logistics issues. I'm going to take my light So Saffron and just go around the edge. And I'm not using the brush end because the brush end, I find, if you do things like this with it, you can break the brush end a bit. But yeah, I mean, we didn't have on our pre-order the opportunity to buy full packs of all of the in colour card or the mixed in colour card other than in 12 by 12. So I just got a pack of 12 by 12 mixed in colour. I know in Australia there was a small amount of some of the in colours, and they sold out in about a wink of an eye or a blink of an eye. So I'm now going to take the crumb cake and do the same round the... Oh, you're in Leighton Buzzard. Ah, hello and welcome. So it's windy with you. So yes, so you wouldn't have had all of the in colour card available. I mean, we got all the inks, the re-inkers, the blends, the Stampin' Right markers, basically all of the in colour stuff apart from A4 card in 2 of the colours and A4 card in the mixed packs. I'm happy with that. I mean, at the moment, logistics are just a nightmare, so I'm going to suck it up. It's fine. Right, so I've got my little chickie, and I'm going to pop him on my tag. I'm going to look at my sentiments, and I wondered lonely as a cloud. Yes. So I'm going to do my friend, but I'm going to split it. Hello, Shaz from Devon. So yes, I'm going to mask off some of the... yes, I was having a moment there thinking, am I? No, I am. I'm going to mask off what I'm stamping. So this is where I like to look at the stamp and see where it is in relation to the stamp. You should be getting your pre-order tomorrow. Yay! I expedited my pre-order, which meant I ordered it on Friday and I got it on Tuesday. I don't actually know why, because all I've done is look at it. I haven't done anything else other than unpack it and make sure I've got it all. Is friend going to fit? I think it will. So, when we get all of the new catalogue, and I mentioned this earlier in the week, we're going to have masking paper, which is awesome stuff because it means you can mask things. In the meantime, I'm going to use this post-it note to mask my, so I can stamp friend. So I'm just sort of shaping it round. So I'm going to mask, and then before I stamp, take off the mask. I know it may sound obvious, but you know, doesn't always happen. So, yeah, I think it's sort of straight. Fingers crossed, everyone. And it's a little bit that way. Yes, it's not straight, but I don't care. It's fine. I'm going to take that. Now, obviously, if you want it straight rather than roughly straight, there is the option of putting it in your Stamparatus. That's the wrong one. I want that one. So I just need to clean that to get the crumb cake off friend, so I can now have my. I suddenly spotted something on my screen that worried me, and it's been there all the time. So it just looked, suddenly it looked like it wasn't meant to be there for some reason. No idea how or why. Right, so I'm just going to ink up my, remove my post-it note, my staples sticky, and stamp my. And I'm going to have my right the way up the top, I think. Let me just check. Friend. Ooh, I might see if I can snuggle it around its head a bit. No, I'm not. I'm not going to tempt Providence. Let's have it up there. It's almost stamped. Right, so it's the top of the M is a bit faint. So this is the moment where I get out my Stamp and Write marker and just very gently fill it in. It's the joys of having the Stamp and Write markers. What page is that on? I must have missed it, a little gem. It is on, I don't know. We are actually meant to say what page these things are on. Easter Friends. I do like that this is in alphabetical order now. Page 27. So yes, if you're doing a pre-order, oh no, your pre-order's due to arrive. So yes, there it is. So this is the page that they've done. So yeah, don't know what ribbon that is though. That doesn't look like any of our ribbons. Hello, Carol. Are you planning on having a catalogue launch party like you had last? I am. I am doing a launch party. It's not quite like last time, so it's going to be. It is going to be a party. It's going to be a tea party. So I will be sending out catalogues. So anyone who's ordered from me in the last 12 months and placed an order of at least £40, I think I drew the line at 40, will be getting a free catalogue. I'm going to be sending emails out about this. And in that catalogue pack, there will be an invitation to an afternoon tea party. It will be virtual, so you don't have to come here, you just have to book to be in the tea party, and you will be getting tea in the post. It won't be scones and cream because I couldn't source those at a sensible price. This is going to be an expensive card to send. It's going to be large letter, and our postage has gone up. Whoops, just accept that, you know, postage has gone up. So yes, you will get some make and take projects using new product, obviously, and a box with afternoon tea in it. So yay! Looking forward to that. So actually I'm going to go that way, I think. Yes. So it's going to be sort of like that, except it's going to be on dimensionals. And I can't decide whether I'm going to go crumb cake. Yeah, I think I'm going to go crumb cake on a So Saffron card base with a crumb cake matte, or am I going to do it the other way around? Decisions. I'm going to do one way and one the other. But anyway, the first thing I need to do is trim my piece of paper down. And I'm going to take the edge off this side. So I'm trimming this down to 3 3/4. And I'll take it off the top, I think, and by 5 1/2. It's one of my standard sizes. I will post this on my blog post on my blog tomorrow. And there will be a Simple Stamping Saturday, I promise. Honest Injun. That doesn't look straight. And yet it is. So, am I going to go that way and that way? Yes, that's what I'm going to do. So, I've got my card base all ready to go. So let's burnish that, and it's going to go that way up. Then I'm going to, so it's going to be like that, and there's going to be linen thread and stuff. So let me just grab my glue. So yes, definitely going to be a launch party. So it's not the same as I did last year. Last year I think I did a kind of mad dash through the catalogue with, whoa, that's coming out fast, don't want that much. Come on, back in. Okay, be like that. I'll come to you then. I mean, I will still touch on the catalogue, obviously, but it's going to be a tea party. There is a reason why it's going to be a tea party, mostly because there is a suite in the catalogue that is around tea, or teacups. So I will not be the only demo in the world doing an afternoon tea party. I won't be the only demo in the UK doing an afternoon tea party, let's face it. Right, seal. So yeah, people who get catalogues will get an invite in their catalogue. There will also be a coupon, just saying, and I will also invite other people as well. It will cost money to do it, because you will be getting an afternoon tea. Well, afternoon baked goods, I think, is possibly the better word. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Haven't done anything other than decide that's what I'm doing, but hey, that's half of it done. Just getting my head into that's what I'm doing is amazing. That's not straight. That is straight. That's a bit of gick, which is apparently attaching itself to me, so let's throw it on the floor. Right, I did get out my linen thread. I know I did. I now just can't see where it is. Good Lord. That's because I didn't get out my linen thread. I got my elegant trim linen thread. So, I do want it a little straighter than that. So I'm just going to straighten it a bit. Gosh, apparently there are 25 people watching. It's almost a record. And in the lead up to the launch, I'm going to be doing a lot, and I mean a lot, of lives. Just saying. And I'm also probably going to go back to doing most days a video. I haven't for a long while. I used to do a video most days, or in fact every day, and then I started doing lives, and then I didn't do the videos, and I think I'm going to be going back to doing videos most days. Now I'm deliberately doing this in a kind of cockeyed, cack-handed way. So I've done a loop to that, but I brought the loop down to the inside of the hole because I'm then going to tie a bow. So I am going to start with a half knot, purely so that there is a whole thing. Lorna's here! So, like that, because it's better to have a something to pull against. And then I'm just going to do a little bow, and I will trim these ends because they are ridiculously long, but there is nothing worse than fiddling around with a short length of thread. So it's not expensive, and those of you who watch me on a semi-regular basis will know on one occasion I ordered 10 reels of linen thread instead of 1. And it's all Google's fault, because I don't know about you, but I use Google Chrome for my browser, and it will remember things that you have filled into a form before. And whenever I put 1 item on an order, it gives me the option of 10. And obviously, for some reason, I managed to go for the 10. So I had 10 rolls of linen thread, which is about 8 rolls more than anybody needs. So I am a bit kind of cavalier about using linen thread, because I have a lot. So I'm going to do these in a zigzag. And as I say, we are now in expensive card posting mode, because... and I'm going to do 2 at the top because it's a large letter. So anything in the UK, one dimensional, it will still go through as a standard letter. Put anything on top of that one dimensional and you're into large letter mode. So even if I put an embellishment on top, it would go into large letter mode. And I'm deliberately going cockeyed, because then the fact that my friend is crooked won't be obvious. So let's see if I can get this in the right place for you. Yes, more or less. So there we are. So yes, the fact that friend is crooked actually doesn't really show, because the tag is now crooked. So there we go. So that's my first one. And let's put the lid back on the glue. Always a plan. Right, so my second one, where's my scrap of card gone? I've obviously thrown it somewhere randomly. Not there. Oh, there it is. Right, so I am going to, this time I am going to use the embossing folder. So let's get that done first. And I am still going to do some blending brush, but... Hello, Janice Hilton from Canada. So I'm going to pop my white card, my basic white card. And I'm glad you liked the card. They are very cute. So I'm having that reasonably straight. You can actually line it up quite nicely on that line across the front or back, depending on how you look at it. This is carrying over, whoops, sorry. This is carrying over to the annual catalogue. And I need those. Oh, so it's not a 3D embossing folder, it's just an embossing folder. So I need my base plate, my shim, and then I need... I'm thinking I need, do not use with embossing folders. No, I don't need that. So standard embossing folder on my 3 plates. Glad they've got the instructions on the thing. Right, so let's just make sure this is straight again, because I've bounced it around a bit. Now, I don't normally worry about these things being straight that much, or that carefully, but because this has got lines on it, I'm just being a little more careful. You're on annual leave today, Nemini. Aha! So you get to watch me live. So... those away, and I had a chip on my nail varnish and I put a coat on top without a top coat, and I've now got a red mark. It's fine. Right, so this is our embossing folder, and it's actually one of those ones, it doesn't matter really which way up you have it, which is quite handy. So I'm going to take my bran brush. I'm just going to see where we are already. That's quite dark. Nah, it'll be fine. Right, so crumb cake I very stupidly put away, so I'm going to go crumb cake. And again, I'm going to start in the middle because we're having a tag in the middle again. And I'm just very gently brushing because I don't want it to be solid all over the place. Because I don't want it, I want it to pick up the fact that it's embossed, if you see what I mean. My brain seems to have gone on a holiday, or I think my brain hasn't gone on a holiday. I think the communication between my brain and my mouth may not be working completely at the moment. Not quite sure why, but there we go. Right, I'm a bit more out here because it's looking a bit straight at the moment. So let's go across that way. And the reason I'm doing more crumb cake rather than so saffron this time is because my duckling is going to be more crumb cake than so saffron. And the reason for that is that some very good friends of ours have ducks. One of them unfortunately had to be put down not that long ago. It had, I want to say, no, it wasn't peritonitis. Well, it sort of was peritonitis, but with an egg. Basically, an egg got caught in it, so it had to be put down. And her sister was really sad because they'd grown up together. They'd known each other since they were eggs, and so these friends of ours have just bought 2 more ducklings, which were tiny for about a day, and now they're big, or certainly bigger. One of them is yellow and one of them is brown. The original ones were brown, or the original one that is still around is brown. So yes, I'm going for brown ducks. Let me just clean this. And I'll clean that while I'm at it. And I don't know if I cleaned... No, I don't think I did. I'll have a little bit of a clean. There we are. Right, so this is going to be more crumb cake and less so saffron, but there is going to be some so saffron in. And I know this is a lot bigger, and I'm fine with that. It's fine. And I will be trimming this down. So I'm going to start with dark crumb cake. When I might bring in one of the, no, I was looking at the natural skin tones. Don't know what they're called, because some of those are quite orangey pinky, but they're not right. No, it's fine. It's fine. Oh, 700 might work. Let me just bring in the 700. 300. 500. 800. 700. I don't know. I think that would make quite a nice beak, actually. So I'm going to give it a 700 beak, because it's not orange, but hello, Leslie. Oh, now Leslie, I tagged Barbara and Lorna on a post, or I posted in our team room to say, have you seen the email from Michelle? And then I realised that you also need to see the email from Michelle. Hopefully you have. Yeah, I like that. That kind of works. Was never going to restrict myself, was I? So I'm going to come around to the outside. This is going to be very similar to the last idea. So it's just about the weekend away. I might use the same 700 down there as well. There's just a change of venue is all it is. It's nothing exciting. Or it is exciting. I'm staggered that she's managed to sort it out so quickly. But yes, just be aware that there is an email. So I'm just trying to get a bit of an outline going without it going too mad. Now that is a wing, so I think that's body and that's wing, whereas this is wing into body. Does that make sense? You couldn't book? Oh, okay. I'm sorry you couldn't book, but so this is light crumb cake, so I'm just softening that edge a bit first. So I'm concentrating on the outside edge. I will be adding more of this, but I want that edge softened first. And I know different people do blends in a different way. Some put down light first, then put dark on top, and then put light on top of that. And I do whatever takes my fancy on the day, frankly. Now, the joy of this particular image, even if you're not fussy cutting it, is that it's fuzzy. So it doesn't matter if your blending is not great or your blends aren't great, because it's fussy, it's fluffy. So yeah, if you've always wanted to try using blends, it's a great image. These are great images to do it on because there is no hard and fast outside. So I will be able to choose where the outside is later on. Now the eyes I'm not going to colour because it just looks really odd if you do. So now I'm going to come back in and definitely colour where the shading is. I'm pressing a bit hard, which is why it's squeaky. I apologise. As I say, I am going to bring in some So Saffron, but obviously I'm going to bring that in the white spaces. So let me just bring that up first so you can see where we are now. She says, hoping that that's where it needs to be. Yes! Hurrah! And then, is using the scrub better than the foam? It's just different, Barbara. I think the answer to your question is that for intricate stamps, and particularly red rubber, yes. I'd forgotten I'd got the scrub, to be honest. I like the stamping scrub. This is the light So Saffron. But when I was feeling particularly, I decided that I could at least tidy my space, so I did, and found my stamping scrub and thought I would start using it again. I do find that it's a bit, it's almost too brutal for when I use it for photopolymer, because the photopolymer isn't as adhered to the block as the I'm going to use the broad end as the red rubber. If you're too rough with it, you can end up with the stamp flying across the scrub, or indeed across the room. So I think the answer to your question is yes and no. Isn't that helpful? I'm going to come in with some dark So Saffron because I want a little bit more yellow, just in some of these areas. It's almost going too yellow. I will be coming back in with crumb cake, but I just want a bit more depth of colour. The chamois was launched at the same time as the Stamparatus, and for the Stamparatus it is absolutely perfect because you take the chamois to the Stamparatus rather than the block to the cleaner. But like crumb cake, but yeah, I think they're just different. Actually, I want some dark crumb cake. Just a bit more dark, and I will then fade that back with some more light crumb cake. This is going to make a mess on my... It will eventually bleed through to the grid paper, which is why you want something between your desk and your blends. So I'm just doing some little dots around the side of the beak, and then let's come back in with the light crumb cake. I think if your cleaning stays on off, having used the stays on cleaner, and I would then say, and I rarely say use a wet wipe, and then definitely use your scrub, because you want the stamping spritz stuff. What's it called? Stamping mist. That helps condition your stamp. So after putting it through the abuse of using stays on, I would definitely use that. This has ended up a little more yellow than I wanted, but I'm going to go with it. It's fine. Ducklings can be yellow as well. But I was aiming for a little bit more brown and a little less yellow. I don't know, we're getting there, we're getting there. And, ooh, so saffron light. Oh, I've got the thick end, but that's fine. The thin end. And then a little bit more dark, and then I'm just going to do its feet and call it done, because otherwise this is going to be soggy to handle. Right, so I want 700 again. That's 800. 700. So I'm doing 700 feet. Might do a little bit of crumb cake with this as well, but it's just tying in back into the beak a bit. That'll do. Right, fussy cutting time. Where did I put my scissors? Can't see them for looking at them. So did that help, Barbara? I hope it did. Yes, I will do its feet first. So, and then we just need to layer it all up, and we are done. Just 2 cards today, but hey. So I'm doing just a very thin outline on this, but I will again come back in with blends to hide that a bit. So those of you who aren't already subscribers to my YouTube channel, do remember that if you click that subscribe button in the bottom right hand corner, you will. And again, I'm doing this wiggly bit to not have a completely solid edge because it's fluffy and therefore I want it to look a little bit fluffy. And if you click the alert bell, it will tell you when I go live. If you don't click the alert bell, it will just appear in your list of things to watch. And if you're watching the replay, if you've got any questions, do pop those below the description bar. I'm a little behind with replying. I think I've replied to any direct questions, but maybe not to the very kind comments about, you know, I like that card and things. But by all means do leave a comment, but obviously if you're watching it on replay, this is me live and I'm not going to be necessarily around to comment on a comment on the replay. Does that make sense? Am I just blethering to myself? I think I might be. I have to say, I don't know whether this, you know, fuzzy edge is going to make it look any different, but it makes me happy. And as I say, I will come in with some blends just to get rid of the white edge, but that's a bit fat. So I was just checking to see if Barbara had answered my, did it answer my question, or did it answer your question? And just this, I'm just going to get rid of that bit, because that's going to annoy me going around a corner. I'm not necessarily the fastest fussy cutter in the world, but I do enjoy doing it. There are other demos who are definitely faster than me. Right, so I'm going to come in with the light crumb cake for most of this and just rub that over the white bits. Let me bring it up and hopefully you can see what I'm doing. And then I'll come in with the 700 for the feet. So I'm just trying to get rid of the white edge. Oh, I had fun last night. So for those demos who are in the UK, group, Facebook group, we've got now some group ambassadors, which I'm one of them, and we've got some fun coming up in the next week or so, and our DDM asked for some short videos to help people with this task, which is not a difficult task, but I'm not going to spoil it by letting you know what it is. And I did have fun with mine last night. I don't think it was quite what she was expecting, but it was all about making sure that you have decent photography. So if you're sharing an image of a project, it's almost more important to worry about the photography than it is to worry about the project, because you can put the most amazing project onto an inappropriate background and nobody's going to see the project. But yeah, so I was having fun with that. So this is a lot bigger, obviously, and I think it's running kind of like that. And again, I'm going to put dimensionals on the back. It's going to be another expensive card, or it's going to be a card that you hand deliver. There's a mad idea. Who actually sends their cards out. Clearly I don't, because if you remember a couple of weeks ago I was giving them away. Having said that, I've now found a home for them. My local church is in desperate need of funds, so I said, well, would you like my cards to sell? So yeah, so they're going to go there. But yes, hand deliver a card. There's a thought. So when did anyone last hand deliver a card? For me it was about a week ago, because some friends of ours in the village, both husband and wife, came down with COVID. So I delivered a card to wish them well. With the giraffe with the knot tied in its throat, neck, which isn't carrying over. Going to miss it. Right, so I have got some dimensional coming off the side. I'm fine with that because I'm going to be putting dimensionals on the back. You do, good. Last week for Lorna. Because, you know, they're works of art. So we might as well share them with people. We've put time and effort into them. Right, so I'm going to just pop that over the edge just so that it's picking up that bit of dimensional there. And then that one there. And before I stick that down, I am going to go for linen thread again. I'm going to go, I think I might go double this time. I know, using lots of linen thread. Get some of the curl out. I do prefer the linen thread on the reel. We used to have it on card, so it would just be wrapped round, and then it had kinks in it. It now has kinks in it when it gets near to the middle of the reel. So I do prefer this, but I do need to dekink it a little. Just delivered your Easter cards. Well done. 22nd of Feb for your mum's birthday was the last time you hand delivered a card. Okay. It's only, what, 6 weeks ago? But if you haven't got anyone that you need to hand deliver a card to, I suppose, you know, that's reasonable. Although, having said that, who actually needs a reason to deliver a card, to give someone a card? I think we should be doing more. Not least of all because for the last 2.5 years, we've been shut away, not talking, well, Zooming with people, but not really corresponding with them in any way. Last week in March, hello, Jazzle Dazzle with Janice. Welcome. You're catching the end of this, but you're very welcome. It will be on YouTube for as long as YouTube allows it to be there, so that's good. So again, I'm putting a knot just so that I've got something to pull against, and then I'm just doing a bow again. And just pull both, because this is a loop, so I know that's an end. So if I pull those, I want that smaller. And I want those two smaller. And then I will tighten it up like that. And again, I'll trim those ends in a moment. So we are going, because it's what I've prepped, So Saffron and crumb cake for our base. So Saffron layer, crumb cake base. Somewhere I've got another bone folder, oh, right there by my hand. Ha! So that's going to go on there, and I'm going to trim this down again. And oh, I've got dimensional bits all over me now. So I can just seeing, you know, I think this side is probably the best side to take it from. Now, doing this, having put it through the embossing folder, I might get a fuzzy edge. Yes, a little bit of a fuzzy edge. That is to be expected because you're cutting something that is multiple layers. Just about to hand deliver a giveaway you were running on your Facebook page with Handmade Card 2. Brilliant! Hand deliver. Wow. Local customers or local followers. I have a couple of team members who are close to me, and that's about it. Oh, no, actually 3 team members who are close to me, because, yes, one of my customers who was in very local to us is now a member of the team. But most of my customers are not local. I'm trying to think where my most local customer is. Oh, probably Aylesbury, which is not that local. That looks slightly odd. Right, I'm going to trim the So Saffron down a bit. I think it is the right size. I think my white possibly wasn't. Yeah, but I'm going to trim it down a bit, but just pretend it was the right size. Certainly when it comes to the measurements on the card, I'm going to pretend it was the right size. Right, and I'm using liquid adhesive because on an embossed surface it's much better than tape, because you actually get to pick up the lumpy bits, and it doesn't squash the lumpy bits when you press down with your seal. But generally speaking, I don't like basic white with glue behind it. Did a class with this set last night, so just being nosy. And please be nosy. Just joining in, love this set. I'll have to watch replay. Yes, it will be on replay, so that's easy. Right, so this is then going to go there. I have got to trim the ends down. I may stick some of the ends down. I don't think I'm going to put a sentiment on this one. I might have a think about that. So let's oh, actually I might. I could put a sentiment down there. What sentiment? Before I press that down completely, I could do Happy Easter down there, couldn't I? Yeah, I might do Happy Easter down there. So let's just. This one I sort of want to be straight-ish. There we go. Right, so let's sort these ends out, which are annoying the bejeebers out of me now. That's a little bit smaller still. Right, and yes. So I think if I just trim those down, I might, after we've finished, just put some glue underneath. Hello, Melissa from Florida. Julia knows Aylesbury well, as she used to live in Tring. Yep, and used to work at Stoke Mandeville Hospital. Ah, so a very good friend of mine, Kate Bolt, who is a Stampin' Up demonstrator as well, also used to work at Stoke Mandeville Hospital. Right, so Happy Easter. Ooh, bash a light, why don't I? So pop that on a block, and I am going to stick with crumb cake because I think there are moments when you just have to restrict the number of products you use. Now, I am going to cut this out by hand, but I'm not going to fussy cut it, which might be a bit of an odd thing to say, but it's not really a straight sentiment. At least I don't think it's a straight sentiment. I think it goes up and down. Does it go? Is it straight? I mean, I can always cut it straight. Oh, maybe. Yeah, okay, I'll cut it straight. I will cut it straight. But I was thinking I was going to follow the shape of the red rubber, but I'll cut it straight. So let's bring it up a little bit. And then we can just chop the ends off. Chop. And chop. Don't need that. Don't need those bits. Let's get those out of the way. And then we can pop this I think I'm going to have that going off the edge of the card and on dimensionals, because hey, we've already got dimensionals on, so let's just keep going. And in fact, I'm going to push it off the edge of the card a little bit and then trim it down, because that's going to be the easiest way of making sure that the two bits are the same length-ish. Except it's the awkward end for me, because there's too much card here. Now, obviously, this does need a liner. That's better. So I'm pushing against this piece of card with the top blade and then just cutting. And that way I know that that is straight. Now, you could obviously put dots and things on. Oh, she's wonderful, isn't she, Shaz? Absolutely wonderful. A joy in so many ways. We quite often meet up for brunch. We've decided brunch is our meal in Tame. Oh, I didn't put a thingy on the top. Never mind, it's fine. So those are the two cards. I will be sticking these ends down because they are really annoying me. I will show you what I mean by sticking the ends down. I'm literally just going to put a little bit of glue down, and that one's going to go onto there. You are going to go onto there. Well done. And this one, I'm going to put the middle onto there, and then I'm going to get a block, and that will hold them in place until they're dry, but it then means that you've got your ends controlled, otherwise annoying. So yes, so there we are. So we've got our little chick, my friend, and our duck, which has ended up a little more yellow than I really wanted, but I'm happy, it's fine. So I hope you enjoyed those. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. Do remember to subscribe. If you've got any questions and you're watching on the replay, leave those below the description bar. Sorry for going on somewhat longer than I intended for only 2 cards. Let me bring you up so I can say goodbye properly. Face. That's better. So, have a fantastic rest of your day. If you haven't already got, I'm pointing down at something that you now can't see. If you don't already have the Happy Easter stamp set, it's not just for Easter. Just saying it, there's one Easter sentiment and the rest of it is cute, fluffy things. So don't think of it as just being an Easter thing. Thank you, Shaz. Thank you, Nora. Thank you, Janice. Thank you, Susanna. Thank you, Sherry. Thank you, Helena. Thank you, Julie. So, yes, don't think of it as just an Easter stamp set. Please don't think of it as just an Easter stamp set. It is a cute, fluffy animal stamp set. It's not in the annual catalogue. Thank you, Claire. So, hello, Margaret. Didn't know you were there. Thank you. Thank you, Nemini. Thank you, Brenton. So yes, don't get blinkered into thinking it's for Easter, because it's, I mean, I know I did make one card at Easter, but just not. Thank you, Judith. So I will be filming for Simple Stamping Saturday any minute now. I've already done the Avid version. Well, I've almost finished the Avid version. So there will be Simple Stamping Saturday. Hurrah! I'm supposed to be doing a blog hop, but I can't. And then I'll be back again on Tuesday. Very good baby cards, Helena. Absolutely perfect baby cards. Yes. Thank you, Jan. So yes, I will be filmed a recorded video on Saturday, live again next Tuesday, 11 o'clock UK time. Have no idea what I'm doing for that, but for Saturday I'm using the retiring and reduced in price, certainly in Europe, or in English in Europe, the Sweet Farewell stamp set, which is, I think, one of the stamp sets that has been overlooked. I'm just taking out the bits that I have done so that I can show you the stamp set. I put these bits in the cover and I can't get them out now. Come along. Come on, out. Thank you. This set is the one that I will be using on Saturday for simple stamping. But I think it's got legs. So it is still available in Europe in English. I won't, Shaz. I will. I'm. That's why I'm not doing the blog hop, frankly. But thank you. So yes, thank you very much indeed. I'm going to see if I can pull in the other. It's rubbish day here today, and I brought in one of the wheelie bins that had blown down the lane. And I need to go and check to see where the other wheelie bin is. It hadn't been emptied when I went out for the first one. I was nearly blown away trying to bring the wheelie bin in. Anyway, thank you very much indeed. I'm really blethering now. Have a fantastic day, and I will see you again soon. So bye-bye. Oh, I clicked.